Hi guys, welcome to another episode of The Dose. You have Melissa here with you.
You have Laura here with you.
I'm Bookie.
And my name's Doyen, and you can follow all of us, and our socials will be linked down below.
So today, ladies, we're going to talk about religious education and whether or not it should be taught in secondary schools today. So apparently there are 4,200 religions in the world, and apparently there's only 12 that are commonly practiced. So what do you guys think about RE? Should it be taught in secondary schools or not?
So I went to a Catholic school, and going to a Catholic school, I was taught about being Catholic, and that's inevitable because I've gone to a Catholic school, so I should expect that that's what they're going to teach me. But with regards to going to a normal school, so if you go to a normal state school, I don't believe you should be taught a religion because that's not in the curriculum, that's not what you apply to do. If you go to a specific school that specifies it, then that makes sense, but if you didn't, I don't think you should force religion on anyone. Even though I'm a Christian, I don't believe in forcing religion on anyone, so yeah, that's my opinion.
Okay, but in terms of not forcing religion on their students, but just educating them about the different religions and practices out there, what do you think? Do you think it's something that is a no-no, or they should be educated in that area?
So I think RE religion in teaching that is just like history. It's educating people about what religion is out there, what is religion. It doesn't mean that it's enforcing anyone to choose a religion, but it's educating. And I feel like education is very important, and I feel like we have a right to know what is out there and what other religions are there. And to be honest, religious studies is one of my only A stars, so I'll keep that.
With me, I kind of agree with Bookie. I think it's very important that you, like you said, you educate people, especially with the things that are going around regarding Islam, and people like sometimes they'll relate Islam to terrorists and stuff like that. So I think it's very important to teach that what the religion is about, and it can also stop. What is it? You know when people are just like moving crazy, like they're being crazy, and then they just start to take things the far right people.
So extremists.
That's what I'm trying to say, girl. Yeah, so it can like prevent extremists from that are against Islam, let's say, for example. I think just by like educating people about certain religions and what they are about, and it's not necessarily saying that you must conform to what we're doing or whatever, but it's just a respect thing, really, like just showing that this is what I believe in and that's it.
Yeah, and it's important to educate young people so that they are aware of the different religions that are out there, because we know, like, I believe most of us are Christians here, but we spoke about this behind the scenes, that basically religion is not what people make it out to be. In terms of having that walk of faith, it's a relationship with God, not religion. So when you tell people, oh, I'm a Christian, they assume that this is how you should be, this is how you should act, not knowing that it's about your personal walk with God. It's not about how people dictate to you how you should live your life. So in terms of it being taught in schools, I definitely think it should be. And coming from an education, and coming from my background in terms of I work in the education industry, I hear conversations between students whereas they don't actually understand different religions. They just assume based on what social media teaches them about or tells them about religion, which is not necessarily true. It's someone else's opinion again, and that's having an impact on them.
And that can be dangerous.
Exactly.
But do you know why I disagree? Sorry, I disagree with you guys, but like, I think there's only so much you can teach someone in school. Like, okay, for us that are Christians, that's fair enough, and the Muslims, so the main, like, the big religions. But there are so many, like you said, so how many religions can you possibly teach in school, and how far can you go in to actually teach them about it? So for me, I just believe, just leave it out, like, only because there's only so much you can teach them. And I know it's not forcing it upon them, and like, I know it's important to understand people's religions and things like that, but I think that's where it just comes into just explaining and having maybe like a session in school where you explain that there are different types of cultures, there are different types of religions, and it's just about learning how to respect each person. But in terms of actually teaching them, there's only so much you can teach them in school. Like, for example, like I said, I was taught RE, but I wasn't taught about Islam. So, like, what does that say about, like...
But you went to a Catholic school.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So the school that I went to, it's a Christian school, but they taught about different religions. So I learned about Islam. I learned about all the other religions that are out there. Limited amount, because now we know there's over 4,200. But I did gain an insight into the different religions there. And plus, through talking to people. So one of my closest friends, she's Muslim. And I learned so much by hanging around with her, going to her house, mingling with her family as well. I even celebrated Eid with them, and you just learn so much more. So personally for me, it just helped me to understand her religion and what they do and why they do certain things, and it helps her to understand my religion and why I do certain things as well. So it helps you to build relationships and bridge gaps between religions.
Yeah, I think when it comes to religion, the problem usually is the coin religion. What are we teaching them religion is? That's where it begins, because like you said rightfully, for each of us, religion could be something else. And in fact, religion may not even be the thing that we're looking at, but that relationship with God or whoever. I also think that who is writing what is taught? Who's writing this curriculum? And is it generally spread? Are we teaching the same thing in different schools? Because that also can cause conflict. Who's teaching and who's teaching? Because we know, as when we were in school, the teacher also had impact on how we learn or what we learn. So is it a Muslim teacher? Is it a Christian teacher? Are they being biased about it? Are they moving it more towards their religion or their beliefs, or are they being generalistic about that? So teachers also have to be taught the way they teach us about RE, religious studies, and then also the students and just the curriculum in a whole. Like, I really think that it should be taught, because like we said, it is educating and we do have that right to be educated. And when it's done in school, it makes it like a unified education. It makes it so that everyone understands, has an understanding of that, and then we can take it outside and we can expand on that outside.
Yeah, I love that you said that the teachers have to make sure that they're not biased, because I recently had a student ask me what was my opinion about same-sex marriage. He's a year 8 student, and I asked him, what's your opinion about it? And he said, I think it's fine. I said to him, okay, so as long as you think it's fine, that's all that matters. And he's like, but miss, what do you think about it? And I said to him, my opinion doesn't matter, because I have to remain unbiased. So I said to him, I'm not going to have an impact on your thoughts. You think it's okay, that's it.
Yeah.
But they don't understand when you kind of have to keep your response neutral and don't. But they're going to ask you questions. They want to know what you think about certain things.
It's difficult for, I don't know, for let's say for a Christian, for a Christian to answer that question, or to not answer that question, or to be asked that question and then have to think. Some people just automatically give their opinion at the end of the day. So then what? How do we deal with them kind of teachers and stuff like that?
I think that it's important to give people the freedom of speech and the freedom of thought, because I remember when we studied in my time, way back, I remember studying RE and it being the points that we got being about how much we wrote, but how freely we wrote about our opinions on religion. Obviously there's a curriculum, but how we expanded on that was based on our thoughts and our expressions and our opinions. And I feel like it's very important to give young people the creative ability to express their thoughts on that. If their opinion is based on the fact that they're Christian or they're Muslim, let that be, because that may change over time, but teachers, schools shouldn't have the ability or shouldn't have the right to change that or defect that. That should be a life choice. That should be down to the individual. So I think religion is a tricky one, like you said, but I still feel like it's still education. And for us to take it out is to not appreciate or not even acknowledge the fact that religion is a part of us. So
Okay, that's fine. So what do you guys think in terms of... You said that was passionate.
Really passionate about that.
It's kind of shifted my mind as well, because so you won.
No, it does make you think deeper about religion and why we actually ask why we should learn about it, as well as things like same-sex marriage. Do you think that's something that they should teach in school as well?
No. I think
this is a very tricky topic.
Sensitive one.
Like, I think it's such a sensitive topic. Like, this is why I said, just don't bring it to school. Like,
No, but same-sex
let's-
marriage is not religion.
no, but
It's sensitive.
it's
just as
it's
sensitive.
part of
yeah.
like, because it's like Christianity. Like, you know, Christianity, we don't believe in, you know, same-sex marriage. It doesn't mean we don't like it or anything. It's just something that is not in the Bible. So I think in school, when you go and bring religion into it, especially kids that maybe go to church and then kids that don't go to church, it can bring conflict there because then they can kind of get into it. But if you just don't bring it into the curriculum at all, if you just don't bring it into schools, yes, of course, kids are gonna have their doubts. Like, they're always gonna have their little things. It's the same thing with like racial things. Like, it's there. But I just think, why bring it into the curriculum?
The thing about religion is that it's very much linked to our history.
Yeah.
So, for example, if I was going to talk about Africa and Nigeria's history, there's no way you're not going to bring religion into it, because majority of the tribes they stood on religion, on their beliefs, and even as we know, as we grow, it's based on our beliefs. So it's something you cannot you cannot. It's a conversation, and I think bringing the conversation is what should happen. However, how the conversation is dealt with and how it's contained is what teachers, because they're the ones who bring it in, need to be taught. How do we contain this? How do we make sure that this doesn't bring conflicts? How do we make sure that this is something that is positively seen and not negatively seen?
Personally, I think there should be consent there. Like, I think if you're going to teach my child, obviously I don't have any kids yet, but like, if I had a child and they were going to school, I would want to give consent to certain things being taught. So things like religion, things like same-sex marriage, like history, okay, not history, but certain things that are quite sensitive, I need you to ask for my permission, because like, you don't know what I'm teaching them at home. Obviously, I'm not saying I'm teaching them bad things or anything, but I just think it just brings a bit of conflict into it. Like, kids are such sensitive, like they're, you know, when you're young, that's when you build most opinions about the world, like, and they stay with you until you're older. It's quite hard to take that away. So I think they're such like, kids are such sensitive, like, creatures, like, they're just sensitive.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna teach a child something, either the parent should be given permission or you just don't do it, because it's just it's
I
just
like that you
understandable.
said that, because a child's brain is like a sponge. They absorb so many
Yeah.
things,
So easy.
and then at a certain age they start to practice those things as well. So I completely get what you're saying, but at the same time, if you don't control where they learn about these things, they're going to go out there and explore it for themselves.
Yeah.
So they might actually they might meet someone who, let's say, is a complete different religion that you're teaching them at home, and they might think, you know, this person's open with me. I ask them questions and they're very open about telling me what is what and how things are done in their religion. When I get to a certain age, like I say 18, I'm going to then leave my household and go and practice that religion.
Yeah, and I also, to add to your point about consent, is that there are certain things that consent is not needed. Not in the sense that consent is not needed, but there's so many factors in this. Like we know, as you grow up, there's so many factors into how we're influenced, and your parents and your family has a big influence in that. So if I'm taught RE, obviously in my head, I already know I was brought up in a Christian home. So that's gonna stay strong in my mind. Even though I'm being educated this thing, that's there. So it's then for me to go back home and be like, Mom, I learned this and that. You as a parent then saying, okay, you can put your opinion because that's your child. You can put your thoughts because that's your child. Like I said, the teacher has a responsibility, the parent has a responsibility, and then that goes down to the child, who then has a responsibility to be like, okay, I've been taught this, but this is what I believe, this is what... The choice will always come down onto the child, however, that you will see as they grow. But you as a parent needs to take that responsibility as well.
Yeah, you know the point you said about, like, you know, you being a child and, you know, you're religious and stuff. I think when you're younger, religion is kind of a bit different. You kind of go to church or you kind of go to the mosque because your parents do it. You don't actually have that relationship with God. So for, like, I can only use myself as an example, but when I was younger, obviously I've always gone to church, but that's because my mum goes to church. I go to church with my mum. I can't not go to church. But then it's only when I grew older that I built that relationship. So I feel like if I was taught certain things when I was younger, I would be easily swayed away because I didn't actually, like, I didn't go to church. I went to church because Sunday school. Like, to see my
But
friends.
you heard something, and that's the point. As long as you're hearing, there's an intake, and you may not know, but you're consciously you're consciously aware of what you are hearing. So it will naturally affect your opinion, your thoughts. Like even if because I can say I don't think I had a relationship growing up. However, I knew the Bible. I knew that God so loved the world. You knew certain things. You know what I mean? And so therefore, as I grew, my decisions, I may not have been aware, but they were swaying a certain way. That's why as you get older, that relationship can be rekindled because there's something that's there. A seed was sown.
But that's
No,
because I was going to kind of agree with you because I see how you were saying that when you was a child, you'd go to church with your mum. My mum's a Muslim, so when as I was growing up, I was a Muslim because she was a Muslim. But then once I started secondary school, and I went to a Christian secondary school, so once I started going to there, it was just like I'm hearing all these things. All my friends, they're not wearing the scarf like I am. Like I was Muslim. Like I was wearing a scarf, everything. So like from then it was just like, okay, no, I don't want to be a Muslim anymore. So I went home and I said, no, I don't want to be a Muslim anymore. And she said, no, you're going to be a Muslim. I said, I don't want to be a Muslim anymore. And so there was tension there because it's like, I've lived this way because of the way you are. Yeah. And then I go to this school and literally it was just like, it was just overpowering me. It was like, Christianity, God, Christ. And then I was like, okay, I want to do what they're doing. And that's why I actually decided no. And I dropped Islam and I said, okay, I'm going to go this way. And it caused a lot of problems for me. But that's what I feel like there needs to be some level of control with what they put out in the schools. Because that's the question, that there needs to be some sort of balance. You know, it can't you can't have people feeling like, oh, I must do this because everybody else is doing it. Yes, do you know what I mean?
And it should be a neutral discussion. It should be a thing of the teacher is dictating to the students, okay, follow this religion, it's the best religion to follow. It should be more of a general discussion. They can ask questions about it, and then the students can answer each other's questions, those who are actually practicing those religions.
And let them know that there's no wrong or right
Exactly,
answer.
there you go. And it's a lifestyle that you're trying to live, like you're a good person. So to round up, because we're out of time now.
Oh no.
Yes. Okay, so who would like to go first and just do a wrap up of what your opinions are?
Should religion be taught in school? I think yes, because it is education and it's important to educate people of what is out there and what is current or what is a part of our lives. However, I do feel like it should be, like I said, very general, and like you said, Laura, it should be controlled, and there are certain factors that do have influence in that, as I said, the parents, the teacher, the child.
Okay.
I think that religion should be taught in schools, but it should be managed. It should be managed a lot better than it is. It shouldn't just be forced as well. I like the idea of consent that Doreen was saying. I like the idea of consent. Okay, consent.
I'm gonna stand my ground, I think. No, I think it was like really good points, but I still believe religion shouldn't be something that is taught in school. I think what they should do is, if I go to a Christian school, if I go to an Islam school, if I go to a Buddhism school, then you should be taught that because you have chosen to go to that type of school, and that's what should be on the curriculum. However, if I go to a state neutral school, I don't think religion should be taught there. I think it should either be a thing of consent, or they should just teach a general overview about different cultures, different religions, and how to respect each other. And that's my conclusion.
I feel like religion should be taught in schools, just so that it teaches the students certain values, certain life skills that they need to take forward with them, and it allows them to open up to different religions out there, and to understand that religion is not basically, and to understand that religion is a lifestyle. It's not how people tell you that you should live your life, and it's just about being a good person in general. So thank you for watching today's episode.